Difficult video games. Some people love them, others hate them. I personally fall somewhere in between. For one, I think video games need some form of challenge in order to keep them engaging and fun, but then there are times when games are way too difficult due to poor game design, or the difficulty is intentionally used as a gimmick to sell it to more hardcore gamers. I've seen a rise in people within the gaming community who have become overly obsessed with difficulty, to the point where any game that's even of slightly moderate difficulty is deemed to be casual garbage. Granted, this is the internet gaming community in 2019, which has basically become a parody of itself as of lately, so I can expect this video to go down rather poorly with certain gamers. But whatever. I find video game difficulty to be overrated. Now, there's no denying that games have become easier over the years. The NES era is full of games that are brutally difficult, and while many people praise this, the truth is that the difficulty was often used to pad out the game time, since NES cartridges had limited storage. Now, I can see people getting mad at certain games for blatantly telling the obvious, like waypoint markers or being able to see your enemies through walls. There is such thing as a video game being too difficult in my opinion though, even if it isn't the whole game. An overly difficult section can really bring down my enjoyment of a game. For instance, am I the only one who finds the Undyne boss fight in Undertale to be way too hard? Hell, even after looking at multiple walkthroughs, I still couldn't beat it. I tried nearly 30 times, until I rage quitted from constant failure. I just find the over-reliance on hand-eye coordination to be frustrating as hell. Or maybe I'm just a filthy casual. And then once Deltarune came out, while the reception was overwhelmingly positive, I did see quite a few people complain that it was too easy, and I couldn't disagree more. First of all, it's not even a full game, and I also found the more laid-back tone to be refreshing after playing through Undertale. Some games are just better with a more laid-back difficulty setting, such as Spyro. Spyro Year of the Dragon wouldn't be the same to me if it didn't have the perfect difficulty. The game starts out easy, but the boss battles and later stages are fairly challenging, and 100% completing the game is the hardest thing about this game. And trust me, I love that game so much I proudly go through the pain of 100% completing it. I just don't think Spyro would be nearly as good if it were as difficult as Crash Bandicoot or Cuphead. Speaking of Cuphead, I think that Cuphead is overrated. Don't get me wrong, it was refreshing when it came out, but I honestly see little point in returning to that game since most of the gameplay consists of constant failure until you pass the stage. And aside from the difficulty basically being a gimmick, I hate how Cuphead overshadowed my precious Night in the Woods. Yeah, I'm still salty about that. Thankfully, Cuphead hasn't endured the same way as Night in the Woods has, and a lot of the gaming community already seems to be forgetting about it. Wow, I recorded most of this video less than a day before it was announced that Cuphead will be coming to the Switch. Yeah, in hindsight, I don't think the gaming community will be forgetting about Cuphead anytime soon. Moving on. And some gamers are pretty hypocritical when it comes to easy games. People will bash games such as Madden or Call of Duty, and come to think of it, I bash COD a lot too. Specifically Modern Warfare 3. It's just that MW3 was so disappointing that it changed my tastes in gaming forever. I should probably make a video about that. Dear God, I need to stay on topic. Yet oddly enough, people adore Kirby, a game that is insanely easy. Kirby Superstar is one of my favorite games of all time, and that's less to do with any sort of difficulty or lack thereof, but because of the feel and immersion that it has to offer, and it's only at the very end of the game when it becomes pretty hard. Another example is Gran Turismo. The difficulty is subjective in this. I'm so used to the realistic handling that I rarely ever fail a race, yet I've seen countless people who spend most of the game hitting walls because of their lack of knowledge on how the game handles. And again, I love this game because of the immersion and feel, not because it's hard. And let's be honest here, would a sandbox game such as GTA be nearly as fun if you had the entire police force on your ass all the time? That's a game I play purely for immersion and feel. And yeah, sure, GTA's become just as casual as COD in recent years and has a similarly dude-bro-ish fanbase now, but I still have fun with the older games, such as Vice City. The perfect soundtrack and 80s setting are oh so orgasmic. I can spend countless hours in a game like this due to how relaxing it is by default, just listening to the jamming tunes on the radio. Only when rampaging or on a mission does it become truly difficult. Hell, some of my most played games of all time are kinda casual and easy, and the GTA games, at least when I was an angsty preteen, laid atop of that list. Now listen, I'm far from opposing difficult video games. I enjoy a good old-fashioned challenge every now and then. Some of my proudest gaming moments are from difficult boss fights. But people need to understand that games don't need to be difficult in order to be good. And there are things that matter more in the grand scheme of things, such as atmosphere and gameplay. And if you are a fan of Cuphead or that other difficult video game, more power to you. In fact, I actually like Cuphead. I just don't think it's as good as everybody says it is. There's more to gaming than just casual and hardcore. There are people in between who enjoy casual games like GTA, while also enjoying harder and nerdier games that the world has to offer. The most important thing about a game is the fun factor, and games can be way too difficult at times, oftentimes due to poor game design. Just remember, it's perfectly fine to lay back and enjoy an easy game every now and then, because at the end of the day, a video game's main goal is to be fun.